How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and I know it's been 2 weeks since I posted this video or posted any video whatsoever, but it's not without good reason. One of my hard drives took a massive dump, right? It had a catastrophic failure, and to be honest with you, I couldn't recover any of my data, and all the videos I were working on got deleted along with some of my schoolwork. So I had to go on to Overdrive and finish all of that before this week ended because a lot of that was due. And my deadlines for my personal videos, like the ones you're seeing now, were on Friday. So, it all piled up. But I managed, and we're here. And today we're going to be talking about War Thunder. Now, I have a lot of experience talking about War Thunder, and I've played the game for many, many years, and I didn't really necessarily think it was going to get to this point, but these are just my personal opinions and feelings based off of the experiences I've had with the game. So just take it with a grain of salt. If you agree, then we have something in common, and if you don't agree, then I'm on the fence by myself. Okay, so the game has many great features that allow you to have endless amounts of unlocks, but this is where the problem is presented, right? This is where the problem begins. So first, if you're new to the game, the experience will be okay. The amount of research points and silver lines that you get, which I'll be later referring to RP and SL just for reference, will definitely offset the cost of whatever repair cost you are getting from dying in game, right? Every time you die, you allocate a repair cost to that tank for being destroyed, and then you need to pay that based off the SL income that you receive from that match, and depending on your, let's just say, performance in game, depending on how active you are in the game, that's what you necessarily, receive in income. But that's all and fine if you're a beginner, excuse me. But if you're a player who's been moving up through the ranks and you're playing at higher BRs, then this is where the issues really get a lot bigger than people don't realize when they actually sign up for this free to play game. So let's say you're a pretty good player, right? You're doing the most, you're surviving in a singular tank, you don't die, and you pick up a good amount of kills while capping objectives, right? Depending on what game mode or whatever you're playing, then you're doing fine. Your SL income is great, and your repair cost is almost zero. So that's fantastic. But if you're not good and you're a decent player or less than decent, then you're having an issue because if you're dying 1 to 2 times, that's 2 repair costs. And if you're not picking up that many kills, let's say 1 through 3 kills, and not capping any objectives, then you're not necessarily doing too well. Your income is going to be less than ideal, right? But in my experience, I typically play Germany and America, and we're going to be taking a look at Germany for this example. Okay, so right now we're in the War Thunder screen, and if you take a look at the bottom of the screen, we could see the lineup that I'm currently using, and these tanks range from 6.0 to 6.7, and this is where I've been running into issues, right? And I don't think this is just my personal issue. I think this is just like an issue of climbing the ranks. So let me show you. So in rank 4 to rank 5, you're having these issues where if you take a look at the repair cost, let's say for the Tiger 6.7, Tiger 2H 6.7, the max repair cost, this means that if you fully get destroyed, then your tank is no longer usable and you will have to pay the maximum repair cost. Now that is 9,900 for that tank. The Tiger 2P is 2,500. The Tiger F is 5K. So let's say that you're a player who just unlocked the Tiger 2H and wants to unlock a bunch of parts for it, but your crew isn't too good and all these other variables just don't line up for you, or you just aren't too good of a player, right? Or you don't know how to play that tank too well. Then if you're dying constantly, you're going to be picking up the repair cost of 9,900. Now, if you don't have a premium account, then that really results in about 14K income, which you're going to be seeing in the screen from average games that I recorded on my part. Now, I didn't record the absolute best games because nobody's going to be playing the absolute best games every single game. You're going to have really good games, decent games, and really bad games. So that's what I decided to do. I recorded all 3 stages of what it looks like to have good, decent and bad games, so you can get an idea as to what the income of SL would be, as opposed to how much you would have to be paying if you die once or twice or even 3 times in War Thunder with said tanks like the Germany tanks, right? If you're dying about 3 times in game, let's just say that's the max amount of tanks that you take with you, and you're using 6.3 to 6.7 like how I am down here, then the total of repair costs, let's say you die all 3 times, right? That's about 16K-ish, maybe more, maybe less. I'm just kind of like eyeballing it based off of what we just saw. So that's 16K repair cost in SL, right? Now, like I said, you're going to be seeing the images on screen as to how much you would be getting for decent, bad, and good games, and you can make your own opinion as to why people decide to buy the premium account. It certainly helps if you're just playing a couple games and you grind the game without premium. It's kind of tedious and overdrawn, and I think that's the biggest problem for rank 4 and 5 is just that it's an endless grind, and it's really hard to accumulate enough SL in order to be able to do anything. Now, I'm not one to make a video. I haven't been making videos for that long covering things that I find interesting or that I find that I should be talking about, at least from my perspective. Now, like I said, I didn't really think I was going to be making this video, but given the current state of the game, I thought it'd be useful and beneficial for new players. I typically stream this game every now and then, and people come in asking me what the best way to farm SL and RP is, and that's what this video is basically about. So, it's not bad. The game isn't bad, right? I get that the game player model, whatever you want to call it, is based off of you buying SL, so Gaijin can make money and then keep continuing updating the game, thus keeping the game alive for more players to come. But the biggest issue is not necessarily about the endless tedious grind or the repetitive maps where you get the same map back to back 4 or 5 times, and it's not even the BS repair costs or whatever you want to call it. All that can be mitigated by just playing a little bit more cautious, a little bit more conservative, and you can ultimately do that fairly effective if you just play at lower BRs. But that's the problem. If you don't really want to spend too much time at the lower BRs, where personally I have a lot of frustration playing because it's just not the BR I want to be playing at, and the tanks just aren't very good, right? So the biggest issue isn't all the things I just mentioned, it's the up tiers, man. God, the up tiers are so frustrating. If you're playing 6.0 to 6.7, then you probably know what I'm talking about. The BR 6.7, if you just have a 6.7 lineup, your chances of getting a lobby where the highest BR is your BR is impossible. Well, not impossible, but it's nearly impossible, right? So if you're playing at 6.7, your chances are going to be an up tier, and that ranges from 7.0 to 7.7. And 7.0 to 7.7 has some insane tanks that have stabilized rounds, heat FS, or things that can just pierce your armor like butter, right? And if you're playing Germany, you just saw Tiger 2, Jagdtiger. These things take 6 to 7 years um, to get anywhere around the map. It just doesn't make any sense to be up tier to things that have stabilized rounds that are 1 full BR or 0.3 BR higher than you are, because on top of them having really, really good guns, optics, and maybe even stabilizers, they're insanely fast, right? Some of the tanks that you go up against, these things can go up to like 50 kilometers an hour. It's wild. So I don't know what that's about. I know that people have been explaining and gauging themselves. I think I read a long time ago that they have something where it's skill based. So whatever your skill is, that's where you're going to be playing it. But it doesn't really make sense to go based off of skill in a sense if you have BRs that rank the tanks for that specific category. I know that skill is a very big part of War Thunder, and a lot of people need a certain skill to be able to land shots, angle armor, and figure out what it is to do when playing a certain tank to play it optimally, right? That's the skill the user needs to be able to figure out. But on top of that, it doesn't really help when you're trying to figure out that skill and you've made it to rank, let's say 4 or 5, and you're playing these newer tanks, but you keep getting up tier to things that can kill you from like 10, 20 miles away with a guided rocket. That makes absolutely no sense, and I think that's what's been frustrating me personally and among others in the chat or Reddit users, right? It's just it makes no sense, really. I don't know why that's a big like proponent of the game. It's it like really just drains your silver lines and your RP. It's okay, I guess. Whatever. I guess you could just get away with that. But the main currency is silver lines. So I know that, like I mentioned before, premium accounts are a thing. But if you really wanted to have a premium account, I have it pulled up here. If you really wanted to have a premium account, you would be paying at least $100 a year to be able to have premium, right? And I have on my phone the perks the premium account offers you or benefits for purchasing a premium account, right? So this goes in order based off what they list. The list is kind of old. It's from like 2014, so I don't know if they updated it. I couldn't find any. But it's 200 research points gain bonus in all game modes. Okay, that's fine. 150% gain bonus for activity in random battles. 200% gain bonus in Silver Lions spent in random battles. 150% bonus Silver Lions for participating in other game modes. So the main attraction for the premium account is to be able to farm as many Silver Lions as possible. Now, I don't necessarily deter people from buying the premium account. I think one of my buddies that I used to play with frequently bought the premium account, and it was worth it, right? Because you're putting in the time, you're making the most out of the 1 year span that you're going to be playing. But if you're like me or other people who just pick up the game casually to be able to go and just have some fun on some tanks, play with some friends, or just, have a good time playing by yourself, it doesn't really make sense if you have other life obligations. And like I said, this is just all personal experience. There are times where you're just gonna leave the game and play something else or go do something else because that's just life. It might not make sense to pay $100 because you're not gonna be, maximizing the time spent. Well, there were users on Reddit where they said it was still worth it even if you play 1 to 2 times, even 3 times a week, or even if you play like once every, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a month. And they said it was still worth it because without the premium account, they still wouldn't have been able to rank up as fast as they did, given that they don't have enough time to grind it out if they don't have the premium account. But I digress. To be completely honest with you, there's nothing wrong with a premium account. I've even considered buying it, and I still might consider buying it. I don't necessarily think I'm going to stop playing the game because of this issue, but I still think this is a really big issue. Not the silver lines, not the grind, not the fact that you have to spend $60 on premium tanks or $100 a year to be able to have the premium account and all these really good perks. None of that is the issue. I think we all know that if you sign up for a premium or sorry, I think if you sign up for a free to play game, then you know what you're getting yourself into. There's going to be a lot of pay to win aspects to the game that are going to give you a leg up to those who don't have the pay to win like premium or the premium vehicles. But that's all fine, right? What I think needs to be fixed is the up tiers. I don't really see it efficient enough for players to be playing out of their rank if you're just making it to 6.7 like you saw Tiger 2H, Tiger 2P, I think that's 6.3, my bad, or the Yag Tiger. You want to enjoy these tanks. That's why you spent a lot of time grinding it out, right? That's why you put a lot of time in order to play these games. But if you're getting up tiered and you're pretty much out of your league and you're going to be outperformed by these other better performing tanks, then what's the point of even having the premium account? I mean, I guess you could make the argument that if you're going to be purchasing a premium account along with the vehicles, then you're going to be doing fairly well. And that's true, right? You're going to be maximizing your income both on SL and RP, and you're going to be uh, ahead of those who don't have premium vehicles. But not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody's that committed. And if you're going to set up a or not a premium list, but a tier list, right, in your tech trees, then I think that should be at least what you should stick to. I don't think under tiers and up tiers are fair, to be completely honest. If you're playing 6.0 and you go up against a 6.7 Yag Tiger, It's I don't know. It's just silly. I think it's bizarre that that's a thing that's happening, but that is what's happening, and a lot of people have been complaining about it, including myself. And it just makes the game unenjoyable and unfun, if that's what you want to call it. It's not a real word, but it's not really fun. But before I end this video, I really think you should ask yourself this question, and I will ask this question. Uh, if you're only playing two to three times a week, or once a month, or twice a month, and you're not playing on a daily basis, uh, and you're not a hardcore War Thunder fan, is it really worth playing? Is it really worth buying the premium or spending that much time if you're not really gonna be in it for the long run? I've been playing this game for like 4 years. I've never bought anything in game, believe it or not, and I've made it as far as I've made it with just long hours that I sometimes regret. But um I don't know. I think this is where I'm gonna wrap up the video. I think I got off my chest whatever it is that I wanted to talk about in this video, and hopefully this changes in the future, makes the game a little bit more playable and enjoyable for other players, including myself. But yeah, if you agree, make sure to let me know down in the comments. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'm working on a video right after this one. It's going to be completely different. I usually cover gaming things or anything gaming related, but I think the next issue that I want to really talk about has piqued my interest and it's super important. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure to subscribe. And with all that said, I think this is where I'm going to leave the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you guys. Bye.